Hello, it is Friday, June 2nd. I'm here on my porch again, Lexington, Kentucky. Wanted to share with you an experience that I had recently and I'm still working on going through. But last Thursday, I took the second COVID vaccination shot. Um, Everything went well. I noticed right before I took the shot that wasn't feeling quite right, and I noticed I had a little uh, rash on my leg. I get rashes on my legs all the time, no big deal. So I went and had the COVID shot, and overnight had a fever, didn't feel well, and next day again fever, really didn't feel well, felt really really bad, and I was weak, couldn't hardly get out of bed. Um, and I was slated to go on a family trip Friday. Leave Friday and then go on a weekend trip with the family. And I decided not to go because I would have just been a stick in the mud, no fun. I wouldn't have been able to get out of bed, honestly. So I stayed home. Family went and did the trip, and then so we're into Friday, still not feeling well, so I'm starting to get a little concerned because the COVID shot, the one of our kids had a fever reaction to it, and it was basically overnight. He got a little sick, and then the next day he was at the pool. He was fine. Um, so I started realizing that the spot on my leg, the rash on my leg, was getting bigger. I decided, I'll just give it another day or so, and go over the weekend basically, and it should go away. Well, it didn't. I kept feeling worse and weaker, and so basically, um, around Saturday or so, the rash was even bigger on my leg, and then I started really getting concerned, and I started realizing that where that rash was a spot where I had pulled a tick off of me. Not last Thursday when I had the shot, but the Thursday before that when I was in Lexington, Virginia, I had pulled the last tick off of me in that very spot. So then I started becoming really concerned that what I actually was dealing with was not symptoms from the COVID shot, but symptoms from Lyme disease. So I started reading, and I basically was exhibiting all of the symptoms that they described for Lyme disease. And so I ended up, I asked Betsy to make me a doctor's appointment. She got me into the doctor Monday morning. So um, Saturday and Sunday, I was basically so weak. I couldn't walk from my front door to the mailbox, which is 100 feet, without having to like sit down. I was that weak. It was all I could do to get out of bed and feed myself, and I basically spent the entire weekend in the bed. I got up Monday morning, pulled myself together, went to the doctor. Um, the rash on my leg um, was about the point. I'll insert a picture of it here. Um, the doctor saw it, heard description of my symptoms and everything. She immediately ordered a Lyme disease test and prescribed the antibiotics to get it started, because the Lyme disease test takes several days to come back, and this is not something that you want to mess around with. So I'm thankful that she had that sort of urgency about it, and got me on the medicine for it right away. So the few days following, the doctor's visit. I don't know if it was the medicine kicking in, because I know, typically antibiotics take a few days to start kicking in, but um, it seemed like that day, I took, as soon as I could get them, I took the first one. And it seems like that day, my body just really started fighting hard. And I, again, was, feverish, like 102 or so fever. It would fluctuate, and then sometimes I would have no fever, and then it would come back. And I spent the next couple of days in the bed, fighting this thing. And you could touch the rash on my leg, and it was just burning hot. And so I eventually started feeling better. And over the last few days, the last couple days, I guess, I have been able to get out and walk. That's helping me feel better. I've been able to eat really well and rest a lot, and all of it has come together, and I'm feeling much better. I'm just very thankful that the doctor, took such urgency with it. Um, and so the Lyme disease test came back negative, which really, really surprised me. But then when I started looking in the notes in the test, it says that it can actually come back with a false negative if you're in the early stages of Lyme disease, because apparently it looks for, I guess, some antibody. And if you're in the early stages, then it's possible your body hasn't produced that antibody. So it can come back with a false negative, which is what I think happened. So if I were to get tested again, I'm betting it would pop positive. But this does not affect my hike. I was really worried that I wouldn't feel good enough to be able to hike, but I am fortunately doing much better and planning to go right on with it. I'm gonna, when I get out there, of course, I'll play it by ear, but I am very, very thankful that I did not have to go through this on trail. So let me show you the current status of the rash on my leg too. There's the current state. So if there's one takeaway I'd like to convey, it's to take tick bites seriously. Check yourself every night. And if you start feeling bad after a tick bite, a few days after a tick bite, in my case, it was, almost a week later before I felt anything at all. And I could tell that something something wasn't quite right. It just didn't feel right. I felt a little weak. But if you start feeling bad, like flu-like symptoms after a tick bite, go to the doctor. Don't mess around with it. Just go to the doctor. Tell them you've been bitten by a tick. Tell them what the symptoms are and everything, and hopefully they will order up a test and get you on the medicine quick as possible. The sooner that you get on the medicine, the better off you'll be in the long run. Lyme disease, left untreated, can have some serious long-term effects. I was very fortunate to have caught it in the beginning stages and been treated for it. I am being treated for it, and I'm just very thankful for that. So I will be continuing with the through hike as planned next week. I'm looking forward to the rest of the adventure, and I'm also looking forward to sharing it with you. Thank you for watching.